Hi guys, my name is Zacharias, and yes, we are in my car right now. I really needed to get a Tim Hortons. It's early, bear with me here, I'm not quite fully awake, but I will try my best. Okay, I wanted to start making these videos to try and help some of the newcomers in this hobby. I see a lot of posts on YouTube and Facebook and all the social medias about people constantly having issues with their RCs. And so I'm gonna try and make as many videos as possible with as many RCs as possible. Gonna go through full teardowns, rebuilds. I'm gonna share upgrades, and also I was thinking about doing a driver's 101. That might be fun to make, and some people may benefit from it, as a lot of the problems do arise from not driving them properly. Anyways, I'll also be doing the bashing videos and all that fun stuff. I'm going to be heading over to the shop here shortly. My stepson Sean will probably be there. He's just as deep into the hobby as I am. He's very knowledgeable. I believe he has his own channel, RC Maniacs. It's not that Russian Indestructible company. He named it, not realizing that they had that name. So today is going to be a shop day, and we're probably going to go to the beach, but I've got to go put the TRX-4 back together, so here is the Monster RC HQ, and it is still a work in progress. Still got some work to do. Gotta hang the pin boards behind me. I gotta mount some shelves. I gotta fix some RCs, and just some small details like posters and whatnot. Anyhow, there's some TRX-4 parts. I got these new lugs for the X-Max. They're part number 7758, and they're a little different than the stock ones because they got those little windings on the back that should help them grip to the tire, or the rim I should say. So I got some new rims for the TRX-4, got mudslingers, and here is the TRX-4 itself. This is the project at hand right now, and the front end has already been broken down. I have had my servo horn, the plastic stock servo horn, strip out, so I picked up a steel servo horn. I will be installing that today. So I also installed the MIP wide track kit, and here's the part number in case you are interested in ordering some for yourself. It is a good method to widen your tracks if you got tracks on your TRX-4, which I do not. But it's good for widening wheels too, so anyway, so I'm going to get started here. I'm going to throw the front end back together, and then after I throw the front end back together, I will break down the back end, and we will take a look at how the new track wideners go in. Before I get started, I just wanted to share a little tip about bearings. I am always checking the bearings in my truck. I always make sure that they're rolling smoothly, got no locked up bearings, because bearings can be very destructive if they're locked up in there. It's the #1 destroyer of motors and gears. You know, I've seen them melt plastic transmissions. Those little beads, they get loose, they break teeth. there's just a whole lot of things. They're very destructive when they're not working properly. This here is Sean's X-Max. He's currently in the middle of a rebuild, and these here are his differential bearings. They were locked up tight. It took 2 days of soaking them in brake cleaner and working at them and working at them. They finally broke free. They're not perfect. The ball bearings inside are damaged, so you'll probably need some new ones there eventually. Yeah, if he hadn't decided to do his rebuild and decided, take it out one more time, who knows what would have happened. It would have been bad and costly. It really is worth it to, just take the bearings out, and all you got to do is pop a dust shield off, take a little grease on a finger or a butter knife or any kind of knife, a flathead screwdriver. Just pack some grease into there and put the dust shield back on, put it back in your truck, and you got no worries. Just keep an eye on them, and it's worth it. It's easier on your wallet. It is true that every time you remove screws from plastic, the threadings become weaker and weaker. But as long as you're not using heavy duty power tools or any power tools at all, because it's just not for this type of thing, and be sure not to over tighten things, and you probably won't run into that problem for a long time. So in my opinion, it is definitely worth it to take your truck apart, clean it, make sure your bearings are working good, and it'll save you a lot of money. The TRX-4's diff locking mechanism is just a little plate with teeth that slides inside the differential, locking the diffs and the shafts together, and it is moved by this little arm that is connected to the cable. An important tip about this is you don't want to get any grease in between the differential and the locking plate, because grease is sticky and it will cause the plate to stick inside the diff, putting strain on the micro servo, eventually burning it out, and we don't want that. So no grease between the plate and the diff. A couple drops of oil is fine, but no grease. The right hand portal is about to go back on. Fairly simple to do. Just pop the drive shaft back in. Might have to turn that a couple times to get it to pop in. After you fit the drive shaft in there, you just need to put your 2 screws with the 2 bushings on each pivot point located on the top of each knuckle. Now that's done and you're certain that both sides steer with ease, as they do, you can start putting your pan over steering links back on. You got one that goes from one side to the other, and if you notice, one of them has a really long screw and the other one has not such a long screw. It's because your pan over link here is going to connect to your servo, so it's going to sit on top of there just like that. I usually like to start with the idle side first. I leave the business end for last, but it doesn't matter. You can do it whichever way you want. Just note that this rod has curved link ends on the end of it. Make sure that they are pointed inwards so that you get the extra clearance when you put it on, because you are going to have the suspension arms connected here and here. Okay, the idler's on. Now you just take this link and just place it inside the holder like so. It's a lot easier to do it with two hands, guys. Alright, so I'll just give a little quick explanation. Okay. This one, the flat side of the link always goes with the button. This is like that, so if it gets caught on anything, it's not going to rip on the screw. And you just put it through like that. That link should be in there as well, and the screw goes through that. You screw it in there, and then you're ready to hook her up to the servo. Now I'm ready to put the new servo horn on. I've cleared away all the old plastic shavings from the spline as much as I possibly can. Yeah, dirty, made a mess. Dirty old plastic. What were they thinking? Alright, so I'll do this the old-fashioned way. Plugged in a battery, centered the steering trim, bolted on the servo horn. Now I'm ready to put the axle back on. When you're reinstalling the axle, the front one's always a little bit more tricky than the back one, because you've got one upper link going this way and the other upper link going that way. Good way to do it is just remember to lay that lower link across the servo, and then you can attach this pan link, and then you can attach the two upper links, and then you can attach the two lower links. The two lower links screw on with the shocks, so after you've done that, all that's left to do is flip it over and reattach the servo, which is fairly easy. You got the screw there, you just loosen that up. Loosey goosey. Oh, wait a minute, that one was already on there. Why did I do that for? Oh, alright, I'm gonna need my two hands. Alright, take two. So, all you gotta do with connect the diff locker is to put this thick end into the slot, just like that, and then tighten up the screw. Make sure she's in there right, which she is. And then this little link goes on there. You might have to move the servo saver to get it on there, but they got little servo savers. They're not very strong, but they do the trick. So there, she's on. Now just gonna throw the wheels on. Oh yeah, that truck is looking awesome. I'm gonna have to wrap up this video now because I can't wait to hit the trail. We'll end her by saying Freedom Hobbies. It's a local hobby shop that supplies me with all my hobby needs. MIP, supplier of the track wideners. Can't wait to see how they perform. And yeah, I'm gonna have to make a video now of this beast out on the trail. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to Monster RC. Smash that bell button so you can catch my next upload. Bye.